Yo, what's up, everybody? Hitman BK here, and we have got a little fun Sunday video I thought about making the talk about Remnant 2. So we obviously have, this channel honestly was obviously has grown a lot thanks to Remnant 2. So I definitely want to continue making that content. And now that we're all kind of on the same page, right? We're all with the same patches. Everything since the game came out has very much been about like, okay, well, how is it? Okay, well, there are these bugs. And then obviously there was the couple of weeks now where everybody was catching up patch-wise to where PC was, and that was kind of what drove the conversation. So I want to change it a bit, mainly too because I had a community member in YouTube comment and ask what I wanted to see in the future and in future patches. And I really want to start engaging with y'all and engaging with people who's in here and hanging out. So today we're going to put out a video and we're going to talk about things I think are going to come in the future, things I'd like to see. And then I'd love to hear from y'all too in the comments. So you know what? Let's sit back, relax, and let's get into it. I want to talk about armor. I think this is an interesting one because when they dropped the armor, right, they removed armor sets. For a lot of people, that was kind of like a why did you do that? And that's still the conversation. There's still a lot of people, a community. There's a lot of community members out there. I'm moving these photos in front of me of my girls, y'all. I keep them in front of me. It makes me happy. There's a lot of people out there who fundamentally like miss armor sets, and I'm on both sides. Like I like armor sets. I think they're fun and they make build crafting fun. But then I also don't like them when they can like tie you into a look, especially if you're trying to play fashion Remnant, or if there's not a lot of like play between sets and you're kind of just stuck to one set. And so Remnant 2 obviously removed those, put it in rings, and was like, hey, go wear what you want. Well, I'd like to see some changes to armor, especially because you can't tell people to go wear whatever they want, but tie any sort of stat to armor. And I think that is definitely a thing Remnant 2 might have like tripped over because like regardless of whether or not they wanted this to happen. I mean, however you see yourself on the fence on it, it is interesting to say go wear what you want, but oh, by the way, there are stats on armor. There's dodging is tied to armor. So yes, they removed armor sets, but they didn't really make it free for us to wear whatever we want, because if you just run like full Leto, you got Fat Boy dodge, or you got to put a ring on to compensate for that. So it's really interesting to say like, hey, we removed armor sets so people can go look good, look at all this armor we have, but oh, by the way, like your armor is also tied to your total your total damage reduction as well as your roll. So I'd like to see maybe like in future updates either remove that completely, or I guess bring in transmog, because like it kind of sucks to like try to pay attention to what you're wearing while also trying to hit that like perfect medium armor stat. So that's one change I think I'd personally like to see, and I'd love to hear what y'all think. I don't think there'll be armor sets in the future, mainly because they're not already in the game. It would be a pretty massive overhaul. I think archetypes kind of tried to fill that position, mixed with rings and amulets taking over some of the bonuses that we got from the ashes. But so that's just the first thing, is either bring in transmog or figure out a way to just remove what armor is doing completely, if it's just supposed to be for looks, because it's not. And especially for people who are sticklers with stats, like they're going to be like, cool, well, I need to put on like this piece with this piece and that piece, and that's going to get me the 50 total before I go into that horrible fat roll. I'd also like to see I can't wait. I hope they start talking about the future now. Like, I know all of y'all are probably just as excited as I am. Like, now that we're all cut up in patches, we've been playing this a lot. We know there are free updates coming. I'd like to see what that is. I hope that's survival mode. I think a lot of people missed that from the first game. It's also another hard sell, right? When you put a new game out and you take a mode away that was in the previous game, that cannot sit well with some people, and there's a lot of people who miss that mode. So hopefully we're getting that added really soon, and hopefully we start getting some conversations around future DLC, which I think is going to bring in 1 or 2 new biomes each DLC. And the reason I say that is because archetypes, I think there's going to obviously be a new archetype in every big DLC. And archetypes look like they're tied to a place, right? Because once you get into the game, essentially every archetype you can find is tied to one of the regions you can go to. So I would say if there's one or two regions in a DLC, there'll be one or two new archetypes, or maybe a DLC, a region, a new archetype tied to that region, and then maybe an archetype tied to a secret. So either I'd love to see two regions or one region and two archetypes coming in the future, especially revisiting. Oh, my daughter just came in.
Hey, Daddy,
Hey, hi.
can you make me a smoothie, please? Because I want one.
You can go ask mommy or give me like 5 minutes.
Okay.
She wants me to make her a smoothie. And just threw me off. Where was I, y'all? Yes. So I'd love to see either a new place and two new archetypes, or two new places and obviously two new archetypes. And hopefully we'll start hearing about that soon. And hopefully we'll also maybe get to go back to places in From the Ashes. There are definitely some zones I'd love to return to, especially oh man, I just lost the name, y'all. It's the nuclear zone with the immortal guy in there. I just thought that was such a where he blew up his own planet. It's like slipping my mind right now. I'd love to go back there, or even go back to Corsus, go back to the swamps and see what the queen is up to. Although I know you fought her in the DLC in the Swamp of Corsus DLC. But anyways, I think that would be pretty cool stuff to see. I'd love to hear what y'all also would like to see in future DLC. But if you're asking and you're wondering where I think the future is going, I think the first big DLC will definitely add a zone. It'll definitely add an archetype, and it'll probably add a zone we've already been to. I'm sure. I feel like it's going to bring a zone forward from the Ashes, and probably dive into like where Ford went. That might be where this is going to end up taking us, which would be an easy pull into a zone we've already been. Like he went somewhere to go meet with somebody. You know, who knows what Ford's up to, right? Ford's an adventurer like us, so he goes wherever he wants. And then obviously maybe even flesh out more of that like ending that happened. I don't want to spoil that, even though I'm sure a lot of people have already beaten this. In terms of like patches and I mean, well, let me back up too. And then obviously in any new DLC, we will 100% have secrets. There will be new guns and new rings and new stuff like that. For patches, like really, there are no patches I could think of that I'd want. There's QOL things I still want. We need to have a better UI system for the rings. Everything is in alphabetical order, but still, it's really cumbersome to go through there if you don't remember them all, and to do that. And obviously, we need loadouts, which are coming. Loadouts are on the way, and crossplay. Those are my three big things. I'd love to see a new UI system for rings and amulets, just making it easier to look at all of that. Although loadouts will be a big help there too, and then crossplay, because we're a huge community of people, and I'd love to play with all of you, especially while I'm streaming. Yeah, I think that covers it really for what I wanted to drop today. And I really wanted to hear what y'all think. And then in terms of like replayability to y'all, hardcore mode, I'm not a hardcore guy, but I've been playing it with a couple of people in our Discord. I'll put the Discord link in the description below for anybody who wants to join our community of Fifthly Casuals. Don't forget to like and subscribe too. Okay, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I love hanging out with all of you and doing this for everyone. But I'll put the Discord link in below. Join the Filthy Casuals, and we've been doing like hardcore runs, and those are just fun. Like this is the first game I feel like hardcore mode's actually fun. Like for me personally, because like you have to deal with the RNG of the loot, which is interesting. And then in co-op, it just makes it really cool because if you go down, even if you're dead, you can be rezzed by a stone. So it actually kind of like it makes it like super intense, because then you just hope your partners don't die. So there's this nice like tug of war between you and all the people you're playing with if you're doing it co-op, that make it actually a really good time. And that's kind of where I've been leaning into now. And we also are doing community builds. We put our first one out recently. I'd love to hear from more people on what you're making in Remnant. That's not a meta. I don't care about meta. I want to know what people are doing and having fun with. Like right now, I'm looking all into Archon and Summoner, and using like I'm trying to figure out like a nice mod structure to rotate mods plus what the Archon can do. I'd love to do like a really powerful mod build. But yeah, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, and keep engaging, and make sure you comment and sound off on what you think about some of these things I talked about, what some of your thoughts are, what you would like to see. I'd love to hear from you. I reply to everything. And until next time, I'm Hitman BK. Have a great weekend.